Hello everyone, how are you? Today we have another pro match commentary, this one between Kongdoo Uncia and Afreeca Blue, and this is played on Oasis. It's played in Apex, just like the last one we had, and it's Oasis. What can I say? There haven't been practically any pro matches on Oasis, so this is quite exciting. But going right into it, we see Birdring playing Soldier for Kongdoo Uncia, gets the first spot up there onto the trampoline, as well as a hook onto Afreeca Blue's Soldier as well. That is the red team, and Kongdoo Uncia is the blue team. Kind of strange, right? Afreeca Blue is the red team. That's a bit confusing, no, but that early hook is going to seal the deal pretty much for this point early on. Now you can see Afreeca is a bit, they're not really sure whether they should get on to try to stall it out or just get all the way off, and because they're indecisive, they wind up having the Reinhardt shield broken, which allows for an easy hook, and he gets taken out. Although they do trade for the Winston. Not sure how the Winston died for Kongdoo Uncia. He was kind of pretty far back, but this becomes quite a battle now as they rush in, and a hook comes out onto Kongdoo's Roadhog, so the blue team no longer has a Roadhog. This is a 5 versus 4 situation, and the red team is up a Roadhog. As we see, Winston's going to jump on Recry as well, but it's not going to do too much. And this is really the thing about Oasis. We're going to see Recry gets the nano boost. He has the visor up, and he just comes around and bam, easy. Easy 2 kills on the supports just like that. No one was protecting them because you can see it has this rounded shape. So the thing is, if you're pushing in from this direction, suddenly, well, now this is behind you. And if you're pushing it from this direction, now suddenly this is behind you. So from the defender's point of view, if you're standing here, you have easy access to the back of their team from either side. Because, of course, if they push in through here, we have our pen, that's right. If they push in through here, you just go bam, kill their supports. And if they push in through here, you just go bam, kill their supports. Anyway, so Oasis requires a little bit of a different approach. You need to really be careful with your back end. Come in through something like this, and even then, you can do the wraparound, but it's much longer, right? So that is the issue that Kongdoo Uncia, the blue team, just felt, getting their supports taken out by the Soldier visor right there. But let's jump right back into the game. Afreeca Blue, the red team, because that does, again, kind of confusing, right? Got that big numbers advantage early on. No healers, of course, for Kongdoo. Makes it very difficult for them, but Adam actually gets taken out kind of strangely, and it's a bit off camera as well. So Afreeca has no more Reinhardt, but it's okay. The whole hog comes out. Remember, they had the numbers advantage. It was just a matter of time until they finally took the point. Most of this was just stalling, and you can see finally the Lucio comes in. He goes down. Soldier, played by Birdring, very smartly gets back. People say that this particular map on Oasis has short spawns, and they are actually a tiny bit short. They're not very short, but it does make it a tiny bit easier to stall out on this map than it makes it for other maps, particularly just because the path is so straight and there aren't any obstacles in their way. Now we're going to see here that Kongdoo Uncia is going to try to go in on the high ground. Now this high ground is very difficult to deal with as an attacker. It's very hard to take out, but we see that the strategy used is that they're using D.Va. Actually, Afreeca Blue used a D.Va very smartly to knock everyone off of the high ground at the same time the rest of the team engaged. And we're going to see that a little bit later as well, so look out for that. Still though, this match is pretty close because you can see that Kongdoo Uncia has quite a lot in the bank in terms of ultimates, so by the time they come back, they should look pretty good. So again, we see on the high ground, this time it's Afreeca Blue. They're on the high ground. This is a very difficult spot, like I said before, to take, but look at that. The D.Va comes in, takes out everyone, particularly the Reinhardt. That's very important, so no more shield up there. And suddenly, that 6v6 up on the high ground that was pretty much unwinnable for the people on the lower ground turns into a 6v3 as D.Va knocks half of the team off. And so now both teams have used that same strategy, and both times it's worked. So that's really good. If you want to take the high ground, just go in. It takes a little bit of teamwork, but if you play D.Va, for example, in solo queue, if your team wants to take the high ground, say, hey guys, let's go high ground, and then time it so that you go and knock, half their team off by the time the rest of your team comes in for the attack. It's very effective. We've seen it work twice, pretty much flawlessly, but it's pretty close now, 80-80. As we're coming in here, the ultimates are pretty close, so this is going to be a team fight. The D.Va Bomb is going to come in for Kongdoo Uncia, not really quite get anyone, but we saw Panker there. I'm going to run that one more time. I'm going to circle stuff this time. So the D.Va bomb comes out and we see a charge. We saw him charge out and it was just way too far. Not a lot of people there to save him, unfortunately. So Panker goes down with no Reinhardt. Kongdoo Uncia gonna have a very difficult time winning this fight. They lose their Lucio as well, played by Bubbly. But right now it's pretty much just stall mode, trying to get up to 99%. And looks like they're going to get it. So Butcher goes down, the D.Va player for Kongdoo Uncia. That is the blue team. Again, reminder. And so they're going to let Afreeca Blue take the point, the red team. And they're 85% now. So we have to take this. Now, where is Kongdoo going to go? That's the question. They're looping around. They're really trying to decide on something. And it's really taking down. So we see that the Ana and Soldier come over here, but the rest of the team doesn't quite follow suit with them. I think they might have been checking or something, but anyway, we have Nanovisor come out. He's going to get Earth Shattered, however, charged, so no Soldier, but it is a trade actually, as the blue Soldier player gets picked off from behind. The camera was not on him, but I assume it's just because he didn't have any team with him. And now it's an all-out brawl. DPS coming in from both sides, but Kongdoo's Reinhardt's in a little bit of a better position as we see the D.Va mech go down as well. And off camera, the red team's Reinhardt goes down. And unfortunately, you couldn't see that because the camera is right now on Roadhog, and he couldn't see too much of the fight. But stuff happened, surely. Surely stuff happened. And Kongdoo Uncia is going to wind up taking this point and actually the round. So right now it's 1-0 in favor of Kongdoo Uncia, the blue team. And now something you saw them do that I was kind of talking about before is that instead of playing this, so the problem when you play this, when you're trying to attack from this angle, we talked before about how if you go this way, then that's vulnerable, and if you go that way, then that's vulnerable, right? We already said that. But if you come from one of these entrances, now suddenly it's a lot less. So, because if the enemy team's over here, and you come from this, then they have to go all the way around to hit your tail. So coming from one of these side entrances is much more preferable, because you actually have a solid back where your supports can hide, instead of playing in this, I call this the circle of death. Basically anyone here is very easy to pick off all the time. But let's get right back into this. Kongdoo Uncia leading by 1. They are on the blue team with Afreeca Blue on the red team, as strange as that sounds. I keep repeating it because I know that a lot of players don't necessarily have the best tracking of these team names because they're not used to. But anyway, we see that, I'm going to pause real quick actually. We're just going to look at that from a pause perspective. Nice third person, by the way. Makes it much easier to see. Anyway, Kongdoo Uncia is going to crowd into this little thing, this little pathway, this little hallway, and you can see half the team gets through the choke, and half the team does not. So that's going to give a big positional advantage to Afreeca Blue as Adam comes in here and is ready to wreck some people. But let's see what happens as we unpause here. So we actually see the anti-heal grenade is going to be burned, unfortunately, by Amon, the Ana player for Afreeca Blue. And we see Arhan, this Genji player, actually come back here, almost gets killed by the pin, but a last-second shield by his Zarya saves him. And then they sort of dual team the very out-of-position blue Reinhardt, who charged all the way out there. And with no Reinhardt, as we've seen time and time again, not much you can do. So the first point goes to Afreeca Blue, and it's ticking down, but no ultimates in play yet. Let's see what sort of offense Kongdoo Uncia mounts here. As they come in, remember, of course, they have Lucio, so they have a speed boost. They're going to come in with it through the front door. So interestingly enough, they're not really going to use the high ground too much, as we see a hook comes out on Adam, which takes a step too far, and that might just make this a very easy fight for the blue team to come in and just do whatever they want, as we see a nano boost comes out as well, just to seal the deal. And that's all that the blue team really winds up using. Arhan tries to save it with a Genji blade, but probably a little overly risky. I don't think they had to take such a risk early on in the match, as we see a Zarya ult's going to just clean that up once and for all. Zarya ult, the Zarya ult was definitely a lot more forgivable than that blade from Arhan. I thought that was very risky. It had a pretty low chance of working, and now you're going to see that instead of Nano Blade coming into this retake, they just have, they have Nano Visor, that's pretty good, but having the Blade too would have been absolutely huge. They have Zarya ultimate as well, but let's see if they can get it off in time as they're pushing in. They might be waiting for it, 96%. I'm sure that they are waiting for the Zarya ult, but we're going to see Birdwing pop his ult there. Ooh, just gets slam dunked by Recry's Nano Visor, and everything comes out. Indeed, they were waiting for Dongyun's Zarya ultimate. That is the red team's Zarya. And they're going to clean it up pretty easily. Very nice chase, by the way, here on Butcher, the blue Zarya player. It's going to take him out, and Arhan manages to live with a measly 30 health playing the red Genji. So both of these matches so far, both of these rounds have been very close, but we're going to see that Kongdoo Uncia is coming through the front. Oh, a whiffed Earth Shatter, a second whiffed Earth Shatter. So not the greatest Earth Shatters, but a charge comes in now from the red Reinhardt, and he's going to be taken very low because of it, very out of position, and because of that, kind of his team is on the run the entire time. He's running away, asking for help, and the team was chasing him. In the meantime, the rest of Kongdoo Uncia was able to take them out very easily. So we're seeing a little bit of over-aggression here from the Reinhardts on either side, Afreeca Blue and Kongdoo Uncia, probably because maybe not too familiar with the map. You can really charge very far out. Like, Oasis is a small map. Just small missteps can be big, as we see the red team advance here. They're all the way through the choke point. I think that Kongdoo Uncia gave up a little bit too much ground, but Arhan in the back pops his Dragon Blade, gets killed very quickly though by a nice shot plus grenade from the Ana player on the opposing team. Zarya ult's going to come out to clean this up for Kongdoo Uncia, giving the point at 74%, and well, keeping the point rather at 74%. But here we have an interesting economic question, because if we look, Kongdoo Uncia still has enough percentage left. Actually, we're going to pause this real quick. I know you guys don't like that, but let's look at this. So Kongdoo Uncia currently is facing a 70% clock, 80% clock. So that means if they lose this team fight, they're good. They can just come back, respawn, and have a chance at retaking. Afreeca Blue obviously does not have that luxury. If they lose this team fight, they lose the match, because this is only a best of 3 at Apex. So they know that Afreeca Blue is going to be forced to use their ultimates. Now, they don't happen to have any ultimates, though Kongdoo doesn't quite know that. So the question is, do you save the ults and go for the retake, or do you just burn them and then have nothing left in case you lose? Interesting question. I probably would hold my ultimates here and go for the retake, because you know that Afreeca Blue is going to pop everything here, and then if you go into the next ult with all of the next fight rather with all of your ults, it's pretty much a guaranteed retake and pretty much a guaranteed win. So I think that Kongdoo should definitely hold their ults here. Like, they should theoretically, to play it technically correct, to play the economy game technically right, they should hold their ults. Of course, hard to do that. I know, it seems very unintuitive. So they're not going to. In fact, they're going to nano boost their McCree, try to go for a high noon. It's not going to get anyone, though, unfortunately, which is going to put them pretty down. But fortunately, they catch Arhan in the back here, who gets slept. Very good sleep by Lucid. And that's going to open up this entire thing with, we see a lot of picks go out because, Afreeca Blue had nothing. They didn't have any ults of their own. So just even the poorly done nano high noon combo, you didn't really get anything, right? But even that was enough to put on enough pressure to win the fight, because they just had the economy. But still, they should have held it. Like, the economic decision there was to hold the ultimates, unless they had some hacks that could see the enemy ult percentage, right? Because if they burn all their ultimates and lose that fight, the chance of the retake is very low. But what can I say? No harm, no foul. Great match by both teams. Nice to see some Oasis, right? I thought it was pretty cool, so I thought you guys might want to see it. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you thought of the match. Are you watching any of the Apex matches? Are there any good ones that you think I should do of this? Let me know. And let me know what you think of this analysis series in general. How are you liking it so far? I think I've been improving video by video, but of course, let me know. As always, guys, never forget to stay positive and have a great day. Peace out.